Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload videos. So today I'm going to be rendering some lard. I have some fat here left over from a ham I canned a couple of days ago. I just stored it in the fridge until I was able to get to this project. So I have my little bit of water and my heavy bottom pot that I'm going to put the fat in and put it on a low flame to cook it down. So there's not a lot of fat here, but I think I should be able to get about a pint, if not close to a pint, out of this, and we'll see how we get along. So the first thing I'm going to do is just cut it down to size. So I'm just going to cut my fat down to about 1-inch pieces. The smaller you cut it, the faster it will render the fat out of it. The skins, any kind of meat or anything is fine. You don't want a whole lot of meat, but the skin is fine to have in there if you have a little bit of that, as well as a little bit of meat. Like I said, you don't want a whole lot of it, but cut it down as small as you can get it. If you have a grinder, this would be a great time to grind it, and it will render out its fat even quicker if you have smaller pieces. So I have all my fat cut up into about 1-inch pieces. Some are a little bit bigger, some may be smaller. Doesn't really matter, but get them cut up as small as you can. Then I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of water. That just helps it not to stick before it starts rendering the oil out of the fat. So I'm just going to put this on a medium heat until it starts to get hot and starts to boil, and then I'm going to turn it down. So my pot is starting to boil. So at this point I want to turn it down to simmer or maybe a little lower because it's such a small amount, and you don't want this to burn because it will affect the color of the lard in the end. So turn it down on low. So my lard is starting to render down. You can see the oils being released from the fat, and I do put a screen on it because it does pop. And I do stir it occasionally just to try and keep it from burning and sticking to the bottom of the pot since it's such a small amount. Okay, so this is what my pot looks like after about 2.5 hours on low. I'm going to actually take this out now because I can smell it starting to burn. And what I'm going to use is my strainer, cheesecloth, and my funnel to get it into the jar. So I have a wide mouth pint-sized jar, and I'm hoping to fill it up. I don't think I'm going to make it, but we'll see how much I get out of here. So I'm just gonna ladle it in and see where it comes up to. And the cheesecloth just helps to strain out any particles of meat or skin or fat or anything like that. But if you don't have it and you just have like a fine mesh sifter, you can use that. I'm using both just to be sure because I have a couple of little pieces that I can see floating around in there, and I want to make sure it doesn't get into my final jar. So I almost made it to the pint, not quite. It's probably about 3/4 full, but it didn't fill it up. So I changed it into a 1/2 pint, which is what you see here. And now I'm just wiping my rim off with some vinegar, and I'm putting my warm lid on it and my ring on it. And we'll see if it seals. If it seals, I'll put it in my long-term storage. If it doesn't, then I will put it in my fridge and use it up within the next little while. So this is what it looks like after I rendered out the lard. And this is the lard. I got 1/2 pint and then probably about 1/4 cup in the ramekin. And I'm just going to put a lid on that and put it in my fridge and use it up within the next week or so. And like I said, if the half pint seals, I'll put it in long-term storage. If not, I'll put that also in my fridge. So now I'm going to clean my pot. As you can see, it did start to burn. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some baking soda in it, and then I'm going to add some water to it, put it on a medium-high heat, let it simmer, and then turn it off, and then clean it out. It works every time, but you have to wash it because it will boil over if you walk away from it, because you want to catch it before it does that. So a medium-high heat till it boils and simmers. So thank you so much for watching, and you have a great day.